Hey Bougie click. Welcome to today's episode, where we dive into a topic that many of us might be all too familiar with, dating for potential. If you've ever found yourself hoping that your partner will one day become the person of your dreams, this video is for you. We're discussing why it's crucial to stop seeing relationships as renovation projects and start valuing what's real and present. Tune in as we explore why you deserve someone who's ready and willing to build a future with you now, not later. If you're ready to reclaim your power in love, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into it.
I'ma make you a fan.
Stop dating for potential. He's not a project, you're not a rehab center. Because he could be is not the same as he is. Potential is not a personality trait. It's not a plan. It's not a promise. It's a possibility, one that may never materialize. And yet, far too many women are out here dating men like their investment portfolios, hoping that if they just wait long enough, nurture hard enough, and sacrifice deeply enough, they'll finally see a return. Spoiler alert, most of the time, they don't. It's time to stop dating for potential and start dating for proof. Potential is a flattering theory, not a foundation. He says he wants to start a business. He dreams of going back to school. He talks about healing, growing, evolving. That's cute. But what has he done? Because potential without action is just a flattering theory dressed up in charm and empty promises. It sounds good. It feels good. But it doesn't do anything. You can't build a life on maybe. You can't raise children on someday. And you sure as hell can't build a future with someone who's still trying to convince himself he's worthy of one. Activated potential is the only kind that counts. Here's the truth, potential is only valuable when it's activated. That means he's not just talking about his goals, he's actively working toward them. He's not just dreaming, he's doing. He's not waiting for the right time, he's making time. If he's not already in motion, you're not dating a man with potential. You're dating a man with excuses. Activated potential looks like discipline. It looks like consistency. It looks like a man who doesn't need you to mother him into greatness because he's already parenting his own progress. The fantasy of fixer-upper love. Dating for potential is a scam. It's the emotional equivalent of buying a rundown house in a bad neighborhood because you think you can flip it. Except in this case, the plumbing is emotional immaturity, the foundation is commitment issues, and the roof leaks red flags. Women are conditioned, by rom-coms, trauma bonding, and patriarchal programming, to see men as works in progress instead of fully formed adults. But here's the truth, potential is not a promise. It's a projection. And betting your future on someone else's maybe is a guaranteed way to waste your prime years. Falling for potential is falling in love with a fantasy. It's not about who he is, it's about who you hope he'll become. You're not dating a man, you're dating a projection. And that projection is usually built on scraps, a deep conversation once, a vulnerable moment, a glimpse of ambition. But a glimpse is not a guarantee. A spark is not a fire. And a maybe is not a man. Potential is seductive because it lets you fill in the blanks. You imagine the healed version of him. The ambitious version. The emotionally available version. But here's the kicker, if he's not actively becoming that man, you're not in love, you're in denial. You're not his life coach. If you find yourself constantly motivating him, inspiring him, or helping him grow, congratulations, you're not in a relationship, you're in a mentorship program. And unless you're getting paid hourly, that's not your job. A man who needs to be pushed to become who he could be is not ready for who you already are. You're not his mother, his therapist, or his accountability partner. You're a whole woman. Stop shrinking yourself into a support role in someone else's coming-of-age story. You are not here to fix him, raise him, or wait for him to evolve. That's not love, that's labor. An unpaid emotional labor at that. If you find yourself constantly understanding him while he's out here misunderstanding you, it's time to ask, are you in a relationship or a rescue mission? Because if you're always the one doing the emotional heavy lifting, you're not building a partnership, you're dragging dead weight. You are not his emotional rehab center. You are not the unpaid intern in the startup of his self-worth. If he hasn't figured out how to show up for himself, he's not going to magically learn how to show up for you. Too many women confuse patience with purpose. They think enduring a man's stagnation is a sign of loyalty. It's not. It's a sign of misplaced hope. You're not being loyal, you're being used. Patterns don't lie, people do. Forget what he says. Watch what he does. Patterns are the receipts of who someone really is. If he consistently avoids accountability, ghosts when things get real, or only shows up when it benefits him, that's not a phase. That's a pattern. And patterns are more predictive than promises. Stop excusing bad behavior because he had a rough childhood or just needs time to grow. We all have baggage. Growth is a choice. If he's not choosing it, he's choosing stagnation. And if you're staying, you're choosing to wait on a man who's not moving. Potential is a distraction from reality. Dating for potential is a clever way to avoid confronting what's actually in front of you. He's inconsistent? You call it mysterious. He's emotionally unavailable? You label it deep. He's broke, aimless, and allergic to accountability? You romanticize it as humble beginnings. No. What you see is what you get. If he's not showing up now, he won't magically transform into Prince Charming once you've invested enough time, love, and unpaid emotional labor. You're not building a man, you're building a fantasy. Stop romanticizing struggle. There's nothing noble about suffering in silence while waiting for someone to become who they promised they'd be. Struggle love is not a rite of passage. It's a trap. You don't earn love by enduring pain. You don't prove your worth by staying loyal to someone who's inconsistent. Healthy love doesn't require you to shrink, settle, or suffer. It requires two people who are ready, not perfect, but ready. If he's not ready, he's not right. Period. The longer you stay, the more you teach him that bare minimum effort is enough to keep you. Let's retire the fantasy that your love will be the magic wand that transforms him. If he's not already transforming himself, your love will only become collateral damage in his journey to nowhere. Time is a non-refundable resource. Every year you spend waiting for him to get it together is a year you could have spent with someone who already has. Or better yet, a year you could have spent building your own empire, traveling, healing, glowing, and thriving. Women are taught to be patient, to wait, to nurture. But patience becomes self-betrayal when it's used as a leash to keep you tied to someone who's not evolving. You don't owe anyone your time just because they have potential. You owe yourself progress. He'll level up, for someone else. Even if he does grow, it doesn't mean he'll stay. In fact, many women have played the role of emotional scaffolding, only to be discarded once the man finally becomes who she helped him be. He gets therapy, finds purpose, starts dressing better, and then leaves her for someone who never had to endure his becoming phase. Harsh? Yes. Common? Absolutely. Don't be the training ground for a man who's just going to graduate into someone else's relationship. Date the man in front of you, not the one in your head. The man he could be is irrelevant. The man he is, right now, is the only one who matters. Is he consistent? Is he emotionally available? Is he financially responsible? Is he actively working on himself without needing you to hold his hand? If the answer is no, then stop trying to rewrite his story. You're not his editor. You're not his muse. You're not his second chance. You're a whole woman, and you don't need to settle for a half-built man. A man's potential is not your responsibility. His ambition, his healing, his growth, those are his burdens to carry. Your job is to choose someone who is already living in alignment with the life you want. Not someone who might get there if you love him hard enough. Hope is beautiful, but it's not a relationship strategy. Choose reality. Choose consistency. Choose someone who doesn't need to be rebuilt from scratch. How to break the cycle. Here's how you stop falling for potential and start choosing reality. Track the pattern, write down his actions over time. Not what he said. Not what you hoped. What he actually did. Patterns don't lie. Cut the excuses. Every time you justify his behavior with "he's just going through something," ask yourself, would you accept this from a friend? If not, why are you accepting it from a partner? Challenge the fantasy. Ask yourself, if he never changed, would I still want this relationship? If the answer is no, you're in love with potential, not the person. Set a standard, not a deadline. Don't wait 6 more months to see if he changes. Set a standard now. If he meets it, great. If not, you walk. Reclaim your power. You're not hard to love. You're just trying to be loved by someone who hasn't even learned how to show up for themselves. The No More Potential Projects Dating Checklist. This checklist isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. It's about recognizing when a man is ready for a relationship, not just craving your energy while he figures himself out. If he doesn't check these boxes, he's not a partner, he's a project. And you're done with those. He has emotional awareness. He can name his feelings without shutting down or lashing out. He takes accountability without blaming his ex, his mom, or Mercury retrograde. He doesn't weaponize silence or sarcasm when he's upset. If he's emotionally constipated, he's not ready for intimacy. Period. He has direction. He doesn't need to be rich, but he needs to have a plan. He's not figuring things out for the 5th year in a row. He's actively building something: career, purpose, stability. If he's still floating through life like a leaf in the wind, he's not ready to build with you. He respects boundaries. He doesn't push you to move faster than you're comfortable with. He doesn't guilt trip you for saying no. He listens when you speak and adjusts when necessary. If he treats your boundaries like suggestions, he's not safe. Full stop. He's consistent. His words match his actions. He doesn't disappear and reappear like a bad Wi-Fi signal. He follows through, on plans, on promises, on effort. If you're constantly confused, it's not chemistry, it's chaos. He's not looking for a mother. He handles his own life, meals, bills, emotions. He doesn't expect you to fix, fund, or emotionally babysit him. He adds to your peace, not your to-do list. If you feel more like his manager than his partner, you're in the wrong role. Final word: you are the prize, not the project manager. You are not a construction site supervisor. You are not a spiritual midwife for broken men. You are not a placeholder until he figures himself out. You are the prize. The standard. The full package. Stop dating men for who they could be and start choosing men who are already showing up as who they are, because you deserve love that's ready now, not love that's still under construction. Potential is seductive. It whispers promises of what could be. But unless it's backed by action, it's just noise. Don't let your future be held hostage by a man who's still negotiating with his past. You deserve a man who's already doing the work. Not one who's still thinking about it. Not one who's waiting for the right moment. not one who needs you to believe in him more than he believes in himself. Date the man who's already becoming, not the one who's still dreaming. You're not here to mold a man into potential. You're here to meet someone who's already doing the work. If he's not checking these boxes, he's not a bad person, but he's not your person. Thanks for tuning into this episode on why you should stop dating for potential. Remember, you're not a project manager or a life coach, you're a partner deserving of love that's ready and real. Don't settle for maybes and dreams, choose someone who's already showing up as who they are. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more insights on healthy relationships. Share your thoughts in the comments below, I'd love to hear your stories and experiences. Until next time, take care of yourself and choose wisely. You deserve it. What do you think? Are you dating for potential? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.